Can do this right here. Okay, okay. Dun, dun, dun. Try to move this thing way down and out of the way. Um, I'm going to close this real quick. The side window, and we're going to get started. Good. Everybody can hear me. And I'll address your online questions a little bit towards the end. We like to do a little real-time Q&A. I'm going to respond to all the questions that were sent to me, and then at the end, we'll make the effort to respond to your other questions as well. So I'm going to close the side screen. Everybody can see both my screen. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, my name is Brannon Beliso, and I want to welcome you to my monthly Q&A webinar. I want to thank you for participating in this candid webinar. You know, it's been an amazing year. We're in an amazing industry, and I can't help but feel blessed and grateful every day to have the opportunity to not only have an impact and make a difference in people's lives, and in the form of my students and my members, and providing an amazing career for my team, as well as for myself and providing for my family, but also the opportunity to serve you. I do these webinars, I travel quite a bit, and I speak, and I'm a strong advocate in improving the quality of our industry simply because I love it. Most of what I do not get paid for. And I say that passionately because we know there's a whole slew of consultants and groups out there that have businesses, and we do need to get paid. I mean, don't get me wrong on that. I think it's really important. But when we place sales above service, I believe in our life, both professionally and personally, we're going to suffer deeply, deeply, deeply. So with that said, let's kind of get into things. Just some up-to-date stats on myself and where we are today. We currently operate one location for all the new people aboard, and we have a second one slated to open in 2015. As of yesterday, as of today, I should say, January 21st, we have 585 active students. We grossed $124,700 in December of 2013. We gross an average of $1 million annually. That's consistently for the past 6 years. If you average it out, we're at $1 million a year. Last year, we didn't do so well. We did 995,000. So we fell $5,000 short. We operate at about a 25 to 30% net. But the unique thing is we achieve this in only 3,800 square feet. Now, by restaurant standards, retail standards, that's $280 per square foot. I like to measure it that way. A lot of us base our business upon student value, but here's an example. If I have a 20,000 square foot school and I have 100 students and each one's paying me $500 a month, my student value seems high. If I divide that into the square foot of my business, well, you do the math. So we're running 585 students in only 3,800 square feet. In 2011, I was on site 40 to 50 hours per week. In 2013, I didn't step foot in that door from June 1st to August 1st. I was out for 60 days. The unique thing about our business model that I think is very innovative is we accomplish that type of revenue with no contracts, no upgrades, no bell testing fees, or heavy retail sales. We operate a service versus sales based business. And that's the premise of my whole philosophy, of my vision, of my mindset, and my purpose. We focus on service, not sales. I was very disenchanted in when I hear things like we nickel and dime people, where I see postings at Yelp that someone's trying to lock a 4-year-old kid into a 3-year contract and they won't let him out the door unless they put down some type of financial commitment. Those types of things challenge me greatly because I love, love, love our industry. And I believe that type of mentality, that sales based mentality, is what's hurt our industry tremendously, tremendously over the past years. All right. So here we go. Here we go. And let me just double check here. I'm going to take a look and see other people on the call. Good, good. Everybody hears me just fine. You guys are here. As you're coming aboard, can you please just check in and say hi so I can respond to you as well. Great. So here's the first question. What is your primary focus of market building? And for me, that's everything. Everything? Everything. Number one, I think if you want to build your market, you have to recognize we are in a service-based industry. Growing up in the martial arts for myself as a young child, it was always, I'm the master, you're the lowly student. Teach for free, help clean the school, do ABC. Now, I understand that, and nostalgia is appropriate. I believe the etiquette is appropriate, for old school traditional martial arts, but we need to recognize, especially if we're charging a premium dollar, that people are our clients. We are servants. We are there to serve them. And if we're very clear about that, then I believe that's the best way to build your market. I remember I took my first actual martial arts business seminar when I had 350 students. And I was sitting in the audience, and the guy goes to me, "How many students do you have?" And I said, 350. And he says, "Tell me, what systems do you have?" And I looked at him really perplexed, and I said, "I don't understand, sir. What do you mean?" And he says, "No, tell me, what phone scripts, systems, upgrades, contracts, black belt clubs, what do you have?" And I looked at him and I said, "Sir, I don't use any of those things." And he said, "You have 350 students?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And his response was, "You really must love what you do." So I do. I love to serve, whether it's serving my family, serving the community, serving my clients. It is better to give than receive. So I'm very passionate about that. Second, you want to build your market. Your curriculum and programs, first of all, is values based. I tend to do this, and I forgot to do that this time, but if you can, take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down your three top values, the three top values that resonate with you. And while you do that, what I'd like you to do is post it in the box there, okay? I want to see what some of those values are, what your values are. For me, number one is integrity. Integrity I define as doing the right thing. So just punch it in the box there for me, folks. Give me some of your values that you will not compromise no matter what. Even if I gave you $2 billion right now, you would not compromise that value for anything. Anything, anything. So go ahead and type that in the box, and I want to see a couple of your answers while we're moving along. Because for me, values are the most important thing. Loyalty, yes, sir. Family, yes, sir. And loyalty, loyalty to not only a person, but loyalty to our purpose and our vision. That's really important as well. I've made the mistake of blind loyalty no matter what. And even when that person did very bad things and made very bad mistakes, and vice versa. When I've made heavy mistakes, people loyal to me on ignoring my mistakes and my behavior. And so it's really important to be mindful of that. Passion, honesty, service. I love it. And these are the types of things when we talk about marketing that you should be putting into your website, that you should be putting into your brochures, that you should be putting into every conversation on the phone. That's really, really important, you guys. You think about who our primary clientele is, and that's mostly kids, right? Who makes those decisions? Who brings them to the school? The mom. And we give some slick sales based, type environment where it's just based upon fear versus love, and there's no authenticity, and there's no truth, to that. You want to be really, really mindful of that. So all these things you're posting there, would I want to bring my child to martial arts school that is focused on integrity? Yes. Do I want to bring him to a place that's focused on loyalty? Yes, Stefan, I would, right? Would I want to bring him to an environment that's passionate, that's honest, that's based upon serving me? Integrity? Yes, Michael. Think about that and put that in your interpretation into every piece of marketing that you have. Cool. So moving forward with that, I say values based because when I talk about curriculum, in our school, here's a prime example. We don't have MMA. It doesn't fit my personal value system. It's great. I love to watch it on TV, but it doesn't fit my value system for me. And we cater predominantly to kids. Make sure you're relevant. One of the programs I utilize is Hyper. And Hyper to me is very relevant. Cool music, cool clothes. The kids like the acrobatics, parkour, breakdancing, 720 kicks. It's relevant, right? So that works for us. And then constantly review those programs and improve them. And I know this isn't like, do 50 million lead boxes and things like that, but what is our bread and butter? What do? We are in the business of martial arts instruction. So if we spend our time and efforts really focusing on your curriculum, really developing your programs, and constantly reviewing them, improving them, I promise you, you're going to build your market. For us, referrals are really, really big. They're tried and true, but you have to honor people in other ways. We do this one thing where if you refer a member and they sign up for a regular program, we give you $35 worth of $1. And that's cool. But you know what's cooler? Giving somebody maybe a gift certificate to a great restaurant. Or like we did over the past couple of weeks, we've invited families over to our home. We did it on several different occasions, and we invite them over, and me and my wife personally cook dinner. You want to talk about really connecting with your clients? Invite them into your home. It's amazing to watch students and parents walk into my house and just go, "Oh, wow, man, I'm in professor's house. And there I am cooking for them and serving them." You really want to build that infrastructure beyond your staff, and you want to get them to refer you. Try inviting them into your home. Direct mail, direct mail. I know, the ROI on direct mail is about 1 to 2% if you're lucky. I think strategically doing it the right time of year will help influence that incredibly. So for us, we do one in January. Not late December like some people do. We do January. We want to wait until the kids are back in school. People are settled from the holiday rush. So we do one in January. We do one in May to support our day camps and our summer programs. Then we do one in September for back to school. Direct mail is very powerful if it's used right, if the content is correct. Now, if you're going to pick up every other piece of direct mail for a fitness or a club center and you look at it, do the complete opposite. Do the complete opposite, because most of those pieces are fear based. Lose 10 pounds, or you're going to hate yourself forever. Your kid's going to have ADD and will end up living in your garage at 35 playing video games if they don't do martial arts. Stay away from fear based marketing, because it has no longevity, it has no legs to stand on, and you want to make sure that, again, you're promoting your business as an authentic service based business. Emails, we use a constant contact, works really well for us. You want to make sure, again, strategic. Don't bomb people every day with your emails. And so when I say strategic campaigns, that's really important. So you need some kind of email campaign constantly. Autoresponders are great. You can set them up throughout the year, but make sure they're not just sales-based emails where you're going, "Hi, we have a special, 4 weeks in uniform, $69." No, you want to give them relevant content. For us, it's predominantly parents. So you want to send them things like 3 tips to get your child to focus better, 10 ways for them to get along with their sister. Here's 5 tips for them to be more respectful at home. Those types of things are even better. Now, you want to go a step further? You want to be authentic? You want to really promote your brand? Take the time to write them yourself. It's so easy to cut and paste a link, or to bite copy from something you see posted at Facebook or you Google and find on the internet. But you want to really make a powerful statement? Make the effort to write it yourself. Because you know why? If that mom knows you wrote it, guess what? She knows who you are. She knows what your vision is. She knows what your value system is. She knows what your purpose is. Because you can get away with it for a while and just use, some prefab copy. You absolutely can. But do I think that's for me? For me personally, is it lazy? Absolutely. Does it promote my brand? No way. No way. It's just some generic copy that somebody spit out or did some primary research on to say, well, use this and it'll work. Take the time to write those email campaigns yourself and make sure they're unique and within your value system and authentic to your school. Managing your online reputation, we know this. It's such an animal because it's constantly changing. Right now, the big thing is reviews. That's the truth, right? So reviews via Yelp, Yahoo, Google, local. Now, I want to talk about that. Yahoo last month had something like 127 million active users, per week. Per week, it was per week or per day, something really crazy come in and pass through their website. So Yahoo was number one. Google was like number three. I forgot what was number two. Facebook was number four. So you guys don't please don't disregard Yahoo. Yahoo is something I'm looking at heavily and spending time with it now. And it's much like Google. You got to set up your business and all that stuff on it. For us, Yelp is huge. We use the reviews from Yelp all the time. Google Local. I know there's Google Business, there's Google Places. Well, guess what? Now they have Google Local. Why do I like Google Local? And I think it's very powerful because it's very focused on just your target market. Doing just a Google Business and hitting up somebody that's 50 miles away is not going to help me. Google Local is more focused on your area that you're in. So when you get a chance, take a look at Google Local. And last but not least, I'm using Yext. Yext is basically, to me, like a Hootsuite. You go into Yext, you pay for their service. You can go in, when you post a review, it goes to every major business listing possible. Yext set up like, I don't know, 50, 60 of them for me with the service that I have with them. So when I go to update a staff or I go to update a special, boom, I don't have to go to any of these business listings. It'll automatically go there as well. But much like anything, you've got to use it fully. So when it says that you've got 60% of your profile set up, make sure it's at 100%. And that's posting specials, that's doing staff things, all those different things. So managing your online reputation is really important. And we know reviews are crucial. Reviews are crucial. A lot of people have challenges with Yelp. I'm a big Yelper. We've been with Yelp for about 7, 8 years, and there's ways to deal with that. If you're going to sit there at your school and have everybody log on while they're in class, different parents in the waiting area, and they post a review, it's going to get filtered out. Why? It's got your IP address. Secondly, if this person never Yelps or posts other reviews that are credible for restaurants or other things, guess what? It's going to filter it out. I have school owners complain to me all the time. They filter out all my good reviews. And then I ask them, well, is that person posting a review, are they an honest Yelper? Do they post other reviews? So what we recommend, do it from home, from your own IP address. Second, go on and maybe post on a restaurant. A week later, post on another service. Then maybe the third week, come back and do it on your martial arts school. That's a great way for the filters to say, this is a legitimate review. This is a legitimate Yelper. So that's really important. Does that make sense to you? Cool. Next is social media. I'm probably at Facebook at least an hour a day. I Twitter every day. I'm LinkedIn. Those are very powerful tools. The challenge for most of us is we're not consistent. You need to be consistent with that. And it's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. And if you're not ready to put that time in consistently, because I believe consistency is the key to quality. Now, why do I say that? Here's my take on that. You walk into your favorite restaurant, you order your favorite dish, they make it just the way you like. You go back the second time, it's not made quite the same. You might give them a third chance. You go back the third time, they completely mess it up. You'll never go back again. So consistency is the key to quality. We want to consistently deliver our product at the highest level possible. Well, guess what? We want to consistently manage our online reputation, our social media at the highest level possible. I even have hired a couple of services to actually manage a couple of our Facebook pages and do relevant posts, because I personally don't have time to do those things. And that company I use is out of Florida. It's called Product Advanced, if you want to look them up. Canvassing, this is a big one too. We go out several times a year strategically and we put little 3x5, 4x6 cards on car windshields. We hand them out to people in very heavy populated area. We'll do it on like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday morning when people are having brunch and the streets are just filled. And we personally will go into stores. If there's somewhere I can post it to a board at Starbucks or leave it in what we call a laundromat, we'll do that as well. Those things are extremely powerful. Now, you notice in my marketing, I'm not talking about the regular things, going to a school, doing a school talk, those types of things. I'm really getting on what I consider the more tried and true high end stuff that some people aren't doing. We all do the school talks. We all try to get into the schools and do PE teacher for the day. That's martial arts business 101. To me, these are the more relevant things that are going on today that you should look at. And last but not least, print. We're not talking yellow pages. We know with online you do no yellow pages, but I look for a couple of major magazines. We have an amazing parenting magazine that's in every swim school, gymnastics school, martial arts school, everywhere. So what's ironic about that, if you walk into a martial arts school and they have this parenting magazine, my ad is in it. You walk into a swimming school and your kid's swimming, you pick up this magazine on parenting and services, my ad is in it. So that, to me, that magazine is relevant. So you want to look for a very relevant, but we know, it's a tough thing. And then lots of grassroots stuff, you guys, lots of grassroots stuff, like the canvassing, anything grassroots you can do. For us, our public school system is pretty strapped for money. So we donate iPads, memberships to at least 40 or 50 schools right now. So that's an example of grassroots. We sponsor a Miraloma fun run, and that cost me about $600. We have a big banner. Our name is silkscreened with the other sponsors on a T-shirt that all the kids get. So that's huge for us as well. Huge, 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 huge. We do simple community workshops all the time. Next month, I have a safety workshop. We do self-defense workshops. Those are totally free to the community, and we utilize Craigslist. If you get an opportunity, use Craigslist. We post stuff at Craigslist all the time, all the time, all the time. You writing all this stuff down? Let's see who else has jumped on the call. Wow, lots of people here. Cool. Right on, right on. And do type those questions, and I'll try to address them towards the end. Let's go on to our next question, please. That's my son there. Look at my handsome little boy. Those are some of the really cool one merit badges we have. I have a product that I'm launching at the Martial Arts Super Show called Excellent Kids. It is a preschool program. I'm very passionate about that market. I believe if we get children before they get involved in soccer, baseball, t-ball, gymnastics, and our parents see the value associated, guess what? They're more likely to stay with you versus going to soccer and all the other things. Because soccer, I would never bring my kid to the soccer coach and say, teach him focus and discipline, but I will definitely walk into your martial arts school and demand and expect it, right? It's expected that we teach things like focus and discipline. So we have a great character development system called One Merit Badges, which I'll touch upon really briefly later. And that's an example of the badges there and some of the stripes that accompany that system. Let's see, what has someone typed in the box there? Good looking kid. Thank you. Thank you. Are those merit badges? Yes, Jason. Those are the one merit badges, which I'll touch briefly upon in a little later. So, what age groups do you consider the main target market? For us, it's predominantly kids. Predominantly kids. But I think what you really need to do is have a pulse on your community and know what not only what they need. Um, Stephen Jobs said a great thing. He says, innovation and creativity is about making something for people that they need when they don't even know they need it. There was a time they created that iPad and nobody knew what an iPad was, but he knew people would need it and it would change their lives. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So one part of it is, again, what fits your value system. I'm passionate about serving kids, impacting their life, making a difference. Like my new ad that we're running right now is, what do Cornell, USC, and Stanford have in common? All have students that earn their black belt at one martial arts. Pretty powerful, huh? I mean, and that's the honest truth. So we're really big on that market, kids. And then moms and women, we have a big fitness kickboxing program called One Fitness Kickboxing. And then, of course, men. We have men in our adult program. We do a lot of day camps. We do some birthday parties, not a lot, but we do a lot of day camps. We did one for Martin Luther King Day yesterday, and we had 33 kids in our school at $80 per student. So that was, $2,400 for the day. Not bad, huh? So when you talk about what age groups do you consider the main target market, again, know your market. Do your research. I had one guy whose school is having many challenges right now, and it's in a very impoverished neighborhood. And I asked him, why did you open up your school here? And his answer was, because it's close to my home. And I'm deeply challenged by that because I would never open a business just because it was near my home conveniently. You need to study your market constantly. And that market's ever changing, is it not? So, just do your homework. Google has a lot of information on that. You can find out median household income, combined income, how many households have kids. You want to stay abreast of that. The second question here is, how do you market martial arts to women versus men effectively? Again, that starts with service. For us, you want to market to women, your school better be clean. It better not smell like feet. It better not have dirty bathrooms. I don't care how great your programs are. If a woman walks into your school and it smells and the bathrooms are dirty, they're going to walk right out. Your environment is a huge part of your marketing. And we have to understand women's needs. And we really try to, again, get away from the fear-based marketing of Vogue, of those type of magazines. We try to get away from that completely. We want to be more authentic. What do moms and women, what are their challenges? Well, there are a lot of different things, right? There are a lot of different things. We're all married. Some of us have sisters. I've sat down with my moms in the school and tell me, what do you want from us? What do you need from us? What are you afraid of? What are your challenges on a daily basis? One of the things we're looking to implement now is a babysitting service because moms want to come work out at night, but guess what? They can't because of the kids. That's an example of how you can market. We're going to have a babysitting service during prime hours so that moms can work out comfortably. Isn't that cool? And then men, we know men just want to manage stress. They want to get in shape and feel good. But we know most men coming into our school are single men. So they want women to be there. You want to market to men? I mean, and this isn't being derogatory, out of line. Share with them that our class is predominantly filled with women in our fitness kickboxing. So come on in. I can't tell you how many guys would do that alone. It's not the best example, but it's one, isn't it? Because women and men are totally different in many, many ways. But families are pretty much the same. Moms and dads want the same things for their kids. Mom and dads want the same things for themselves. So again, Studying your market, knowing your market will determine that greatly. Like Stefan, you're in Germany. Marketing there is much different than here in America. And we've had conversations about that. So I'm ever mindful to tell people, when you're hearing my webinars and other people's webinars, ask, does it resonate with the German market? Does it resonate with the value systems of Germany? They are a little bit different. So we want to be extremely mindful. And I hear that when I talk to the school owners in Germany, they go, well, it's a little different in Germany. I understand that. Well, tell me how you can utilize that difference and tap into that market effectively. So be careful with some of these programs and stuff that are out there that have the cure all, that magic pill. When shopping for a larger studio, what are the basic musts? At first I was going to take out that question completely, but then I decided I wanted to address it this way. First, I want to ask you, why are you moving to a larger studio? Have you maxed out your current location? I spoke to one school owner and I said, how many schools do you have? He says, three. I said, wow, that's awesome. I only have one. And I said, well, tell me, what is your active student count? One school had 180, one school had 80 students, and the third school had like 100. And I said to him, I don't understand, sir. Why would you have three schools why would you even open the second school? I asked, what is the first school? The membership was 180. I'm now at 585 students, and we're really looking at that second location. So you want to make sure you completely max out that first school, max out it completely before you even consider a second or third school, because we know a second and third school comes the other challenges of managing multiple locations and staffing and all the rest. So please make sure. Would I rather have one house grossing $1 million a year versus three houses collectively making 850,000 any day, because it's much more easier to manage and control from one house. Next question. What is the earliest class you would schedule and the latest? Again, know your market. We have kickboxing classes starting at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Midday, we've tapped into the homeschool market. Homeschool market is a big one because those kids' hours are much more flexible, and those parents are looking for that social environment. So you want to make sure when you're doing the homeschool that you tap into that. You can't just run a regular ad. It's a very tight knit market. So you want to tap into a parent that homeschools their kids, find out their networks, try to get into their pages at Facebook, join those groups and start posting relevant content. And then with that soft angle, start promoting your school. Again, midday, if I was downtown San Francisco, there were a lot of big businesses and corporations around me, I'd be doing a lunchtime kickboxing class, but I'd make sure I have showers. I'd make sure I give them enough time to get in and get out. So you want to do a really focused workout in maybe 45, 50 minutes. Again, know your market, study your demographics, and see what it needs. Where I'm at, if I did a midday kickboxing class, it would fall flat on its face. But we do have that 1:30 adult martial arts class, which is huge for us. You know why? We have people that work the graveyard shift, midnight to 8 a.m. So we found they go home or they take the kids to school, grab a quick nap, get a bite to eat, and then maybe come do their hour workout, then go back to sleep. So again, know your demographic when it comes to that. Let me just take a quick look here and see who else has come on to the call. Uh, Acer, one current location is a very wealth area. However, the town's population is 12,000 people who are supposed to be driving. I do not have student current coming out of town. Do you have any schools that are doing? Yes, MJ, I'm going to address that. A lot of school owners will say, wow, I'm not in this big, heavy, populated urban environment. You know what you want to do? You want to capture the whole market. The whole market. For me, sometimes that'd be even easier. If I was in a town with 15,000 people in a 5 mile radius, I'd be going door to door. You can physically do that at that point, just blanket sections and just keep at it. You want to just corner that market, MJ, and dominate completely. Dominate it completely, and not by competing. Don't look at what the other guy down the street is doing. Just make sure you're serving people really, really well, MJ, then learn to serve them better. So, but I do agree with this, and this is the big one I want to share. People will say, well, your pricing should be the same. McDonald's charges, $1 for a hamburger. It's the same price in New York as it is in Chicago, as it is in Las Vegas, as it is in San Francisco. That is a freaking $1 hamburger, you guys. We're talking about a premium service here. Please don't compare our service to McDonald's hamburger any day. What you need to do is study your demographics. And we charge $229 for a month to month membership in our school. You're not going to get that in some parts of the country. Do we agree? Right? So, what you do want to do, if I was in lower income environment that supports maybe $99 a month, guess what? I'd be running a 10,000 square foot school and I would be going for a numbers game. I would be, instead of 500 students, I want to have 2,000 or 1,000 in order to make up for that money because I have a lower dollar. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But if I'm going to be in a town like that and have 1,400 square feet and I'm going to run, 150 students, I'm going to kill myself at $99 a month. So be mindful of that. You just want to corner that market, MJ. You really, really do. And I believe you'll be able to overcome that. Cool. We'll get into day camps in a minute, Jay. I'm going to come up to that one next. All right. Let's continue forward here. Okay. So somebody asked me, when you run Groupons for kickboxing, what conversion systems do you put in place for the leads? Do you approach them after their first class or set a time frame for them to enroll in regular memberships, etc.? Now, if you look at our Groupon, in the yellow, we sold 360. 360. That's my own Groupon. The neat thing about that is I get half that money, which is really nice. It pays for the free gloves, and I'm really cool with that, right? Now, with Groupon, I think like anything, um, are there qualified leads and not so qualified leads? Absolutely. I don't care what anybody wants to say to me. If I have a mom who's been bringing her kid to me for 3 years and they refer another parent to us, is that a better lead than somebody coming in through Groupon? What do you think? Give me your answer on that. I just want to take a quick survey. What do you think? What do you think? Yes, J. Elliott says yes. Cool. Anybody else? Well, what's your opinion on that, Stefan? MJ, what do you guys think? Chris, what do you think of that? Jason, what do you think of that? Kyoshi de Palmer, sir. Ah, awesome, sir. What do you guys think of that? Do you think that's a more qualified lead? Yeah, we agree with that, right? So be really mindful of that. So I was talking to a school owner. He says, "Well, what are you converting on Groupon?" I says, "We're at about 15 to 20%." And he says, "Wow, that's awesome." I said, "Yeah, it is, because it really is a numbers game." But that's all I want to say about that. If you really want to know how to convert Groupons in the best way possible, I'm going to tell you, talk to Michael Perella. He is the master of that. I mean, the conversion rates they're getting on the East Coast with their ilovekickboxing.com, some numbers I heard were around 55%. They were way up there. I even heard 75 at one point. Michael Perella is the master of that. He's had that relationship with Groupon for years. He knows the ins and outs. They have an incredible system for that. For us, personally, we're happy to have Groupon. I think it's great exposure for us. What we do is when they come in for their first class, we spend a lot of time with them. We give them all the prices up front, because what we've found, there are Grouponers, people that are simply looking for the next Groupon. I've even had people look at me and said, I'm just going to use this Groupon. That's all I look for is the next Groupon. So please don't even waste your time. And I've had them say that honestly, and I'm cool with that. We're really not a sales-based business. We're a service-based. So what we do is we give them the information. We treat them really, really good. We know their name. We use that 3x3. We look them in the eye. We say their name 3 times. We make sure to appropriate touch. We'll give them a fist bump during class. But we try to do in all our kickboxing classes, instead of treating it like Group X, where we're teaching a group class, we try to treat it like we're a personal trainer teaching to each individual. So I tell my instructors, you are not here to work out, so they don't work out. They physically walk from bag to bag, looking people in the eyes, correcting their form, encouraging them, challenging them. We find that's been the hugest way to convert. We give out bottles of water. We give out T-shirts, different things like that. We're constantly, but the big thing we don't do for us is we don't inundate them. We don't hound them. We don't text them. We don't email them. We don't ask them, where have you been? It's a different animal a little bit than martial arts. They want to feel the lay of the land and make that choice for themselves. But we're grateful to say that, we're still up around 15 to 20%, and we're happy with that for Groupon. We really are when the day's done. But as I shared, you want to get up in those higher numbers, please talk to Michael Perella and his team, because I know they're knocking it out of the ballpark way better than I ever could. Next one, please. Okay, so now one merit badges. Here's an example. Kid walks in on the first day of class, 4-year-old, crying, clinging to mom's leg, clinging to mom's leg. I'll grab the choices merit badge. I'll say, sir, right now it's karate time. And the good choice would be come out on the floor and do your karate class. And if you do that, guess what? You can earn this really, really cool choices badge. Kid dries his eyes, gets on the floor, mom's happy, I've done my job. We know if that kid leaves there crying on the first day, there's a good chance he's never coming back. Absolutely. 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 But we know we live in a reward based society. You want someone to duplicate a behavior, you want them to repeat that behavior. Well, then guess what? Reward them. And don't reward them with a sticker. A sticker you get anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. Even in a grocery store, dentist office, they always give stickers. So you want to go up a step, make them earn a badge. But that's not enough for a parent, right? So have this really cool student and parent handout that you give to the parent. This written out 10 pages with 50 tasks they have to do to earn their belt. Please, I'm a parent. How many parents out there want to be told how to parent? Give me your plugs, people. How many of your parents out there and you want to be a parent? I mean, you want them to tell you how to parent. Anybody? Anybody? I'm a parent. Don't tell me how to parent my kid, but treat me like an intelligent consumer and give me information, food for thought. Okay? Food for thought, right? No policing. So food for thought. So that's what's great about that student parent handout. We know that kid. He finishes class. He gets off the floor. He puts on his shoes. He messes around with his friend. He goes out and hops in the car. Mom says, what did you learn in your karate class today? It's either going to be, I don't know, or nothing. Neither of which promotes the value of my school. But now this kid hops in the car. Mom, I earned a teamwork badge today. They taught me teamwork means working together. My number one team is my family. Mom, can you put this badge on my uniform? Mom drives away going, this is super cool. That's why I bring them there. Or, Mom, I want to earn my teamwork badge. You told me to, you please read through the student parent handout and you make me earn it at home and then tell my instructor, okay? I watch parents look at that handout going, ooh, let me think of ways. Because every household is different. Right now, teamwork in my house is my son's got to stop fighting with his sister. That's our whole focus. So he's utilizing teamwork to earn the badge for that. Well, it may be different in other households. So that's all I want to say about One Merit Badges. Several clients that are here that are using One Merit Badges, you guys know it rocks, right? So if you want to know more about that, go to onemeritbadge.com or great special today, you guys. Call that phone number on the bottom. It's normally $199 for a get started program, but this one is $149. Unique thing again, what's innovative, no subscriptions, no ongoing memberships. I have great people like Tom Callos endorsing me, Roland Osborne, Rocky Abel's an actual school owner. And these are people in an industry that are right at the pulse. Innovative, creative, making a difference people. They believe in One Merit Badges, and I hope you would consider it too. Next question. Okay. What advice can you offer on running camps? Look at all those cute kids, you guys. Real important. First advice I can offer you, I learned this straight from John Cassidy and Top Kick and Master Tule. Market early. When our camps wrap up in September, we're already sending out early registration forms, giving huge discounts if they register by November 15th. Can you believe that? And then after November 15th, we have another set of discounts. Of course, they're lower. And then all the way up until camp starts, we're having these discounts. So we started with $50 off a week, 10% more if you book 9 weeks or more for camp, if you do that by November 15th. After that, it's going to be $35 off per week, 10% off 5 weeks or more up until February 15th. The unique thing about that, as long as by February 28th you cancel, there is no penalty. That's the cool thing about that. There's no penalty. So parents are more easy to put that money on. You want to do it before the holidays. That's why that November 15th cutoff for us in San Francisco before Thanksgiving is really important. You guys see that? Secondly, you want to do a thing called mods. We have 3 training areas, and it's really important that you separate your kids. Do not, even if you have 8 kids in your camp, do not put a 4-year-old with an 8-year-old. It is not age specific and it's not skill specific. Either the 4-year-old's going to be overwhelmed or the 8-year-old's going to be bored. You need to separate them as much as possible. So we have 3 training areas. So visualize this. In one training area, we have completely set up for day camp, tables, chairs. In there, they're doing iPads and reading time. Again, appropriate games are doing iPads and reading for 30 minutes. In another training area, we have the kids playing dodgeball. In another training area, they'll be doing stranger awareness. 30 minutes, they rotate. 30 minutes, they rotate. So they do that for 3 cycles. And guess what? We introduced 3 new mods. Maybe we'll be doing board games in one room. In the other game, we're doing sparring games or a weapon like nunchucks. And on the bottom floor, we're doing hyper. Can you see that? It's very, very cool. And the other thing with that is that person who's managing the hyper, they stay there. They stay right there. They don't take the kids and go into the other room right? They don't go into the other room and start teaching iPad. Does that make sense? So that hyper guy, he's a rock star. So all three groups are coming through to him. He's going to rock hyper. If they're upstairs doing sparring games, that guy rocks it. So all three groups are coming through to him and they rock. So 30-minute mods are really important. We break them up into three groups: 4 to 6, 7 and 8, 9 and over. And if you want that schedule, I'll send you a sample week that we utilize. Again, professor at onemartialarts.com. I'll send that to you. Here's another great tip. We use this Motorola restaurant style walkie talkies, and it has the earpiece, and we wear it on our belt. Everybody in my school has one on, from the front desk to the head counselor to all the martial arts instructors, so we can constantly communicate with each other. We do that regularly. If you walk into my school, we're all wired. We have like 8 of these things, and every one of us are wired. So, boom, I can hit the front desk, get me a belt and diploma. Boom, they can tell me, hey, somebody just peed in Studio A. Hey, boom, we have a parent, just walked through the door that needs to pay tuition. That, oh man, I can't tell you how that has revolutionized what we do. And that was just simply from, walking into a restaurant and seeing that. And then I said, well, that's pretty cool, but it's for a restaurant. Then guess what? I walked into Top Kick again. I saw it there, and but they got to be good walkie-talkies, okay? If you want to know which one I use, again, professor at onemartialarts.com. Here's another great tip I got from Tulay. I have one designated person physically taking pictures of kids all day long. And guess what? They're texting it to the parent. Yeah, and you know how Master Tule got that one? He boarded his dog when he went away on vacation, and they sent him a picture of his dog at this dog motel, and he thought that was pretty cool. So he started using it in his camps and his after school program. I thought it's amazing. You're a parent, you're sitting at work, boom, you get this kid, your kid's smiling, going, having a great day at the One Martial Arts Karate Camp. Is that pretty cool? That's really cool, isn't it? That's really cool. And then, staff training is vital. We do several staff trainings before we even start camp. And then every week we go through challenges. I constantly am sending updates. The challenge we're having is we're not getting the school clean quick enough, or we're not doing ABC. So we're very mindful of that as well. And then here's another great tip. We have customer experience is very vital for me. We try to think like the parent. I'm a parent. It's the end of the day. I don't want to hang out, in your dressing room looking for my kid's sock that's lost or his jacket. We use these big, giant uh, storage bags, plastic glad bags, and we have hooks and a rack system from floor to ceiling in the dressing rooms. So when a kid comes in, we have 4 name tags. One goes on the back of their uniform, not the front, because they'll rip it off. On their back, one goes on their backpack, one goes on the bag they have, and then one goes on their lunch pail. And then everything goes in this big giant plastic bag, and it hangs in the room alphabetically. Can you see that? So at the end of the day, we make sure the kids have their shoes and socks on. That bag is ready to go and everything's in it. So we get that radio call, so and so is here to be picked up. Guess what? That parent doesn't even have to walk upstairs or start looking around. We bring that child to the parent, backpack in hand. And you know what else is in their hand? A cool merit badges. They'll come up and say, hey, today Johnny earned the family badge. And we thought family is the most important part of his life. So, Johnny, sir, how can you be a good family member at home? Listen to my parents, do what I'm told right away, boom, and we're out the door. Is that value? So it's no longer just a day camp, man. We're a life skills character development environment that really gives power. And the unique thing for us utilizing the badges in our day camps, you get that kid that's never ever been there. He's not responsive to you, right? But the minute you say, all right, who'd like to earn a focus badge right now, which means paying attention? Who could look at me? Who could listen? Who could think about what we're doing and do the right thing with the body? Boom. Suddenly you've got a captive audience of 30 kids that you've never met before. You've never met before. So there's another great example of day camps. And I think the big thing is being mindful. What is your market? Market early, market to them, and get started. On my first day camp, God, we had 7 to 10 kids all summer long. But we did the camp anyways. And I get that all the time. I only have 8 kids this week. Should I cancel the camp? No way. That's 8 more kids than you had before. You cancel that camp, they're never coming back. They're never going to refer you because you've inconvenienced them and you've put a hardship on the parent. So do those camps. Now, we started, like I said, at 8 to 10 kids a week. Now we're up to 12 weeks during the summer, averaging to 30 to 40 kids a week, sometimes 50. We just did a single day camp yesterday with 33 kids. We do spring and we do winter. So we do camps all the time. All the time. And they're huge for us during the summer, where most people are closing the doors and saying, well, it's summer, I'm going to lose money. We're ramping up during summer. And it makes a big difference when a lot of those students are gone, right? and you need something to fill in that income and serve the community really well. Okay. Somebody asked me this question: where are you at with your merge to all inclusive program? I'm interested in seeing how this is working and if you offer full sparring gear now. The only reason we don't include sparring gear in our inclusive programs because we make sparring optional. Again, I was a fighter for 20 years, and I had to really recognize it's not about me, it's about serving my community. Some parents don't want their kid to learn self-defense. They bring them strictly for focus or confidence or building their self-esteem or for discipline. Some parents don't want their kids to spar at all. I know some schools out there. I got a buddy who's got a taekwondo school. They don't spar at all. They just do pumse. And he's got a big school. So you really want to be mindful of that. So that's why we don't have the sparring gear incorporated into our structure. As I shared, we have no belt testing fees, no enrollment fees, no upgrades, no black belt clubs. We're not heavy on retails, but guess what? I win the Century Award every year. I get the gold. Sometimes I get the platinum. Because if you know what we do with all our programs, even when we get into weapons, we supply the weapon in class. And guess what that inspires parents to do? Buy the weapon so the child can practice at home. Because I think what the parent feels is you're not nickel and diming in them and you're not holding them prisoner. If you go, next month is weapons month and everybody needs to buy a bow staff. So if that kid doesn't have the bow staff, guess what? They can't participate. Guess what? They're isolated. Guess what? They're separated. Is that a great retention tool now? No, it's actually just the opposite. You want to get somebody to quit in your school? Don't supply them with a weapon and force them to buy it. Can you see that? Yeah. So what we do is we'll supply everybody with the bow staff in class, and we sell more bow staffs because people want to practice at home. You know why? Because they were able to touch that bow staff, they were able to feel it, they were able to feel the power, enjoy it, learn the form, and participate in class. So will they be more inspired to want to buy one? Absolutely. But if you force them to buy it, sight unseen, or their child feels like, oh wow, man, I don't get to do this in class, you're only going to lose students that way. Can you see that picture? Can you guys see that? I know it's bunch of you guys are going, man, I never thought about that before, huh? Right? Right? Am I right? All right. So let me check what Chris has to say. Chris, how much do I charge for day camp? Sorry, I missed that question. We charge $350 per week, and our discounts are $50 as I share it up until the 15th of November, and then we do 35 and 25 down. So we're at 350 per week, but with all the discounts, we probably average around 295, 300 because most people are working multiple weeks. But again, Chris, please study your demographic. I don't know if $350 a week is going to be welcomed in some of the communities out there, right? So I would just do my homework, go to every other day camp out there like a parent, gather all the information, see what everybody else is charging. But don't try to compete with the boys club, girls club, or the local park and rec because you are a specialty camp. Be mindful of that. You're a specialty camp of character development and life skills education and martial arts specialized training, right? So be mindful of that you don't sell yourself like the average, boy or boys club or girls club camp. Fair enough? Fair enough? Cool. All right. So, what were the main steps you took to step back and manage your school from a distance? You know what it was? Just do it. Like the Nike campaign, just do it. Imagine if Nike said, just try. It's never going to work. And we know it. Micromanaging people is something that's built into our DNA, man, because we're instructors, right? We're school owners. But I've really, really, really learned, even when I'm on site, I never micromanage my team. You know what I do? I lead by example. So let's say my front desk staff forgets to clean the bathrooms. We do it between every class. And we actually vacuum the mats with these little hand vacuums. We'll spot them between every third or fourth class. If they don't do it, I don't walk up and tell them to go clean the bathroom. You know what I do? I'll go in there and spot that bathroom myself. And then I walk downstairs and I go to the front desk. Hey, I took care of the bathrooms for you guys. They're all clean. And I walk away. Pretty cool, huh? Or I'll grab that vacuum after the third class and I'll start vacuuming. And guess what? I watch three other people grab vacuums and vacuum behind me. See, that old control leadership of do as I say, not as I do, and ordering people around does not inspire people to greatness. As I say, great leadership leads by example, not by making examples of others. Can you see that? So that was the first main step, which is to really have the faith of the systems I developed and put into place through my learnings and teachings and experiences. First was that. Then secondly was not to manage my school from a distance. It was to be a hands-on manager, to step in there and really manage my school at a higher level. My operations manager of 8 years actually resigned last July. So I took it as an opportunity to really get in there and manage my business myself. So I was off for 60 days last year. Altogether, I was off for 4 months. But after 60 days, I said, okay, my operations manager is out. I'm hopping back in. I haven't hired anybody since. And it hasn't really demanded more time of me now that everything's in place and we developed some other systems. That saves me, over $60,000 a year I was paying her. And my team has a better example of leadership to follow. Make sense? So that was the first main step, was just to do it. Second, I don't manage my school from a distance. I'm a very hands-on manager, whether it's doing it from home or being on site. It's really, really important to know that if you just want to throw up your hands and walk away completely, when you hear great people say, I haven't stepped foot in this school for 3 months, or I'm an offsite owner, you got to recognize they're still working on their business. They may not be working in it, but they're working on it. So never manage your business from a distance. I'll just take that as a demographic question. Even though I'm at home, I manage my business up close and personal. Fair enough? Okay, how and when do you train your staff for work and in the martial arts? All right. The challenge, I think, with staff training is getting everybody together on the same day, right? Do we all agree with that? Let's see, how many agree with that? It's really, 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 really hard to get people in there at the same time. Fair enough? Cool. Anybody want to respond to that? So what I recognize right away, studying some of John Maxwell's stuff, is that we do little 5-minute power meetings. I'll walk in and huddle up my team before we get started. I'll walk over and huddle up the front desk and do quick 5-minute things. I'll pull a guy aside at the end of his shift, not during his shift, and give him some tips on what I've observed today and things he did really well and things he could do better. So we constantly have these little meetings going on 24/7. But one of the things unique about our facility, we have no offices whatsoever. None. We have one big front desk granite counter. If you get a chance, look at that. When you look at our school facility at onemartialarts.com, you'll see that everything happens from that front desk. We have no office. So we don't sit people down and talk to them about the program and give them their different options. They simply, if we do our job from front to back, they simply walk up to the front desk and it's a transaction. So it's very common to see the front desk associates up there, me standing up there, even though my computer's there. And our instructors always come to it. Is our hub, it is our nucleus. So we're always interacting and training constantly. Now, logistically, I meet with my front desk staff once a month for 2 hours. Of course, it has to be after hours because we're busy serving people. Number one, I pay them. Are some of them on overtime at that point? Absolutely. But I need a captive audience for at least 2 hours with my front desk team and also my floor manager and my senior instructors present because they all need to be on the same page. Second, I feed them dinner. So wow, they're paid, some of them double time, overtime, right? And they're being fed. So you create a better ambiance because it's a long day and they're coming in at 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. So you want to create that environment. So my front desk team, I train once a month. My core teaching staff, again, because my curriculum is my core product that we're delivering, me and my core team, that's all my full-time instructors, we meet every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Now, the first part of that is training. I physically get in the class with them and we do our warm up, we do our white to black belt curriculum. Why? Because I must lead by example, you guys. And that's really, really important. If I'm simply a school owner who doesn't represent, who doesn't lead by example, are you going to respect me? Imagine if you trained growing up in the martial arts with an instructor who never threw a kick, never threw a punch, never sparred, never got down on the floor and sweat with you and did push ups. Would that work for you? Would you respect that person? Would you be inspired to follow them? No. Great example that always inspires me is Kyoshi Kovar, man. That guy trains 24/7. He's the great example. That's why people follow him. So it's really important that you lead by example. So we train. We train for the first 40 minutes. Then we work on their stripes, their tips, heading towards their next degree. It's mandatory in their job description. You cannot teach in my school unless you actively train. Because again, it's hypocrisy. I'm a hypocrite, right? I'm going to tell people to practice and all that, and I'm not training. And I've lost some great instructors because they can't physically train, but they want to teach. It doesn't work in our school. And then the last 30 minutes of that instructor's training on Tuesday night, we sit down and go over challenges. We practice our mat chats. We review our stripes that are coming up so we're on the same page. If three people are teaching a form differently, we want to make sure we correct that so it's consistent. Again, consistency is the key to quality. Then at the beginning of every month, I do an instructors in training. It's basically your leadership program, however you want to label that. but we have concrete goals. I use a lot of Kyoshi Kovar's stuff I learned from the instructor's boot camp. I use Roland Osborne's Millennium Training, huge for us. And then I use my own 46 years of martial arts experience to create an instructor's program that fits my value system, fits my vision. But what's unique about that, nobody pays us for that leadership program. We nominate and elect people and invite them into that instructors in training program. And with that, all we ask in return is that they volunteer to teach 1 hour a week. Fair enough? They're getting all that valuable character development, leadership skills. In exchange, all they need to do is commit to teaching once a week. And they're happy to do it. And they must make at least 9 out of 12 of those monthly instructors in training. So you see all the staff training we're doing? Because I do believe you must train, retrain, and train some more. Wow, these questions are coming and coming. I want to get to your other ones as well, and hopefully I can do that for you. All right. I've had a good increase in the number of students attending classes, and I've found that the parents are now sitting on the floors in the lobby. There are so many parents in the lobby that one must be very cautious to how to step. What do you suggest? We would all want that problem, sir. You know, look in this front door. I have 3 little benches. Look how little that waiting area is. We're extremely mindful just to be polite and say, "Excuse me, could you please not sit on the floor? Excuse me, could we ask you to keep this area open? It's a huge fire hazard." But again, use it as a question. Don't tell them, "Can you please get up and move? Can I ask you to please?" Everything should be a question. It should be shared with humility and a deep sense of politeness. And then, I know who sent me this question. You've got a pretty big school, 2 training areas. Maybe you ought to, redo your waiting area and make it bigger. But everybody wants that problem. Don't you agree? If you're stepping over people and your school's super crowded, man, that's a good day, any day, right? Right. So I would suggest looking at your layout, maybe making your waiting area bigger, especially if you have the ability to do so and you have the space that accommodates it. All right, we're almost getting to the end. This is I want to answer questions. Yay! Hey, I answered everyone's questions. Just off the cuff, here's a couple of upcoming things. I will be at the 2014 Martial Arts Super Show once again. I'll be speaking. This is my 5th or 6th appearance, and I love being there. I'm passionate about service. I'm passionate about sharing my innovative viewpoint because I think it's different. Classic example, one year I'm speaking at a convention, not this one, but I'm in one room saying, "Get rid of bell testing fees." In the other room, the guy's going, "Not only can you charge bell testing fees, you can charge the parents to watch." For me, that's just not cool. I mean, that's just way, way out of my value system. And I'm sure you might feel the same. I have a great contest going on at my Facebook page. Take a look at that. 3 of the books that have influenced me tremendously. Delivering Happiness. He's the Zappos guy, billion-dollar online shoe company. E-Myth Revisited. That shaped my life. I was introduced to E-Myth by John Cassidy and Master Tule. Powerful. And then, of course, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. I'm very big on mindsets and creating the type of mindsets that facilitate growth and positivity. But, you got to make sure if you're in the right headspace, you're going to receive information, you'll be able to implement it and take action. But if your head's not in the right space, nothing's going to happen, okay? Let's see here. Let me punch a couple of things in. Let me look at your questions now, okay? Brian is asking me, do you mind sharing the responsibilities for the roles in your school? The responsibilities are really vast, but I think what needs to happen, things happen before that, Brian. What I learned studying E-Myth and working with John Cassidy and TKI Insights, one, you establish your vision. Then you have your business objective. Then you do your organizational strategy, which is basically your organizational chart, defining who's where. Like they say in Good to Great, by Jim Collins, you have to get the right people on the bus and get the right people into the right seat. Fair enough? You know that I've got some killer instructors that don't belong behind the front desk or anywhere else. So you want to be mindful, get the right people on the bus, but plus get them into the right seat. So if you start from the top down, we basically have me, I'm the CEO, I'm the visionary. And under that, right now, I handle a couple of things: marketing, social media, different things like that. Our branding. Next level, I have a floor manager and I have an executive administrative person that kind of runs the back end and he runs the floor. And then we have senior instructors. Then we have assistant instructors. Then we have junior instructors. Then we have junior leaders. That's our floor. At the front desk, we basically have 2 core people that know the ins and outs. And the second people are kind of their backup, the high school girl at minimum wage or high school boy that are backing them up, grabbing belts, grabbing diplomas, sizing up kids for uniforms, doing their kind of the gopher, as we say. Does that make sense, Brian? And if you want more about that, please ask me. What is my Raphael's asking, sorry, I did not hear what time your 1-day camp starts and ends. This is a good one for day camps. Raphael, we start our day camp at 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. and it goes until 6 p.m. Now, the regular camp hours are 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We offer early drop off from 7:30 to 9 a.m. for free. For free, for free. Added value, right? Added value. If people think they're getting more than they pay for, they feel that added value. Then camp ends at 3, then we have aftercare from 3 to 6. And in aftercare, they're playing Legos, board games, Etch-a-Sketch, games like Spot It, Connect Floor, Monopoly, all that good stuff.